Good evening, everybody. Whoa, whoa, hang on. Mute. Gotta mute the other streams. Hey, no fancy countdown timer tonight, guys. Apparently, the music I've been using in my countdown timer is giving me strikes or whatever warnings on YouTube. So I got to redo my countdown intro, blah, 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 whatever. So, anyways, we just went with a few of the little video little fancy things that I've been working on. So hello and welcome everybody to my stream tonight. I'm going to say hello first. Joe Galaska, first one on. Hello, then Jose Ferreira. Jose, always a pleasure to see you on here, man. I know what time it is where you are, and it's crazy late. So 3D Medic Vince, David Wilson. Hello, David. Daniel Whitney, UK. Hello from the UK. Non-fam, Jack Black. Teza. Let's see who else. We have Snapshot FPV. We have the first layer, Richard. Hello. And we have, let's see, the James L. And who am I missing? David Vieira, Cliff D. And I think Guy the Jedi. Hello. And Teza. I think I might have repeated that. Joseph Jolly. Good evening from Orlando, Florida. Oh, I wish I was in Florida. Audio sounds a bit muffled. Okay, so you know what I'm going to do? Because it's probably because of this thing here. So what I'm going to do is, it might be muffled because I'm over modulated. Let me have a look and see where my volume is standing at. That's a little high. There we go. Let's get that so it doesn't quite peak in the red. So let me know. Keep an eye. We'll see what happens. Let me clip that back on. If it sounds a little muffled, let me know, please. Fabian is here too as well. Hello and good evening and welcome to our little stream tonight. So I was going to continue the rat rig build tonight, but I've been having back issues this week with my sciatica, and there's no way I'm going to attempt to lift that rat rig back up onto the desk today. So I thought, well, we'll just tackle the rat rig after Maker Faire, which is happening next week in Calgary. And we will, Crapstar, hello, have been great, thank you very much. And Richard McLean is here, and I'm seeing Stephen Poole. Wow, hello. And so anyways, I figured I'll tackle working on the enclosure for the P1P. It's not nearly as heavy a unit to move around as that rat rig is. So that's what we're going to do, give my back a break. I want my back to be in a little better shape for next weekend because we're doing move in, move out for the Calgary Maker Faire. Richard and myself are doing that. Yes, Joe Glasgow, we're going to attempt to stream from Maker Faire. I think that is going to happen on both my channel and on the first layer. We are sharing a booth right there, and we are going to be sharing the audio equipment for doing live streams. We'll probably do one live stream on each channel on Saturday and one live stream on each channel on Sunday. We're still working out the logistics of that, but that should happen, yes. Mike, never let the machines win. Hello, good evening. Okay, so I made a last-second decision as I was getting ready to go live that, you know, I'm the king of lazy Susans when it comes to printer builds, but what don't you see under this printer? A lazy Susan. I loaned my my short lazy Susan, my small one to Richard for his build, and I only have the big one for the rat rig, and I'm not hauling that big one for the rat rig up on this table. It's too big for this. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a little one really quick here. So 80% done in your P1P Borg Cube mod 7. 7+ rolls, Stephen Poole. Wow. I want to see that when it's done. That's going to look awesome. That's going to be great. So it's awesome I'm streaming. Thank you so much, Jose. I appreciate that. Okay, so if I wince a little bit, it's because I don't know if anybody's ever experienced sciatica pain, but it's not fun. And I've taken a couple medications, so hopefully it holds out for me tonight. So first thing I want to do, I had this all up here and it's a little shaky. You wonder why it's shaky? It's got the anti-vibration feed on it, which makes it kind of, the shakies kind of make it not shaky when it's printing and shaky. So anyways, I'm going to move this down for a minute. Like so. I found a little board in my garage. Now, normally, I know what you're going to say, it's really thin. Normally, I would not make a little Lazy Susan out of a board this thin, but it's the only one I could find. It's the only one I had. Now, the difficulty with this is that this is the Lazy Susan part I use. Okay, so let me just open this up. Slice this bag open here. Get these on Amazon. So it's just a little base like that. I am going to do a video on this one day eventually too. So in the meantime, so now the difficulty I would have if I tried to screw this one onto this board right now is that I would need extremely short screws, which I don't have. So as an alternative for the meantime, because this is just going to sit just basically like this. Meantime, as an alternative, I have this product that I've used for a few different things. I could print that. Yeah, you could. I have this product called Alien Tape. This stuff I've had for a long time. I think I got it on Amazon a number of years back, and I have a lot of it. I haven't used it much. This stuff sticks anything to anything. So I'm going to quickly use my Alien Tape to stick this Lazy Susan to this board. Okay, and I'm just going to use 3 pieces. I'll just stick 1 piece here. 1 piece kind of here. We'll just do it kind of in thirds. And we'll grab another little piece. And this stuff is about, 2-3 millimeters thick, this tape. And we'll do 3rd piece right there. There we go. Just make this up real quick. Hey, poor boy, how are you, sir? Thank you for popping in. I appreciate that. Okay, now, oops, microphone popped off. There we go. So now that this is down, I'm just going to peel up the liner. Come on, there we go. 1. Da, da, da. 2. And come on. There we go. The liner is just a center here. There we go. So I've never tried Alien Tape on wood. This will be a first. Snapshot. So I'm going to eyeball this. Normally I wouldn't eyeball this if I'm screwing it on, but this is just a quick fix. And boom. And oh yeah, look at that. That tape is just like that. Then we'll flip this over. And we have a quick makeshift Lazy Susan. We'll bring the P1P back up. And just like that. Look at that. We have our Lazy Susan. Beautiful. There we go. That's going to make it a little easier to work on is all. So I'm just going to kind of straighten it up on there. There we go. Now we'll get into the build. So some of you have seen the previous stream showing that I had printed all the parts already for the, it's the ARC enclosure for the Bambu P1P. It is available on printables, and if you were to go to printables, it is available just called the ARC for Bambu Lab P1P. It is by Through the Frame is the designer of the ARC, and it's got some really, really good print instructions and great assembly instructions. All the parts are basically print in place. They have little tabs joining some of them together, and none of these parts, I'm trying to think if I'm making myself a liar, none of these parts required support. Okay. The support for all these parts was already built into the part if it needed support. For those of you that did watch my video previously on this, the supports were built into little pieces like this, and then they just popped out once you're done printing. Lift with your legs. Yeah, I know, Richard. I don't know. I'm guilty of sometimes catching myself, depending on what I'm lifting, just bending right instead of the knees. So, good advice though. It did require several heat inserts, M3 heat inserts for this. So I think there was like 80 of them. Maybe not 80. Maybe that's an exaggeration, but 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 40, 50, 40 or 50 heat inserts on this total. Some heat inserts on the green parts. I decided to go with a Galaxy Black filament. This is Prusament Galaxy Black. And then we've also matched that up with the Bambu Labs green PLA filament to give us a black and green theme. So I think I printed more parts than I need because one thing I did print as well was this. It's called an auxiliary fan saver. Now, David Wilson may be able to pipe in here, but I don't know exactly what that's for, even if I need it, because I do have the auxiliary fan is already in here with the auxiliary fan holder, and this enclosure just seems to cover up and go right over top of everything that's involved with this. So I don't know if I'm going to have to move that wire off to the side a bit, but yeah, I don't know for sure if I'm going to actually need to use this part. So I couldn't find anything on it as far as how it went in. It's a little too short to actually hold the fan where this one's holding it, or is it? No, maybe it's not. But I have a feeling that that's just, well, maybe I could replace the one that's in there with this. Maybe that's what it's meant to do. I'm not 100% sure, so we will see. You already have the fan mounted. Yeah, that's what I thought. All this would do is give me a little green accent color, I suppose, because the acrylic is going to be here and you'd be able to see through the acrylic and see the green fan mount. So yeah, we'll see. I could always add that after if I choose to. So the other thing to watch for, I know, is that on the back, when the panels go on the back, there's going to be some screws that have to come out in order to secure this to the back. And yeah, other than that, I think it's not worth changing, David says. Nah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, but the part printed nice. I mean, overall, the part did print very nice. So, and that's the only part. And I don't recall if I put them on or if they were already built in, but that is one of the only parts that required actual support up in the corners there, as you can see. And like everything else on these, those supports just broke off stupid easy like that. So, yeah, there we go. Whoops. Hey, Mika Steve and Nick. And everybody, BB's 3D. If I missed you guys coming in, I apologize. I tend to sometimes not watch chat as much when I'm talking and looking at the machine. So I'm sure you guys will, yeah. Nick, I just see Nick's made that mistake using that kind of tape on the wall in your house. It worked so well, it took off the paint and part of the drywall. Yeah, that these tapes, this isn't a VHB, this is alien tape, which is probably just as good as some VHB tapes, but yeah, you got to be careful where you put those. They work extremely well. So, okay. So I've been following back to my display here. If I open the PDF documentation that they give you, this documentation just basically runs through where to put in all your heat insets, which I've done. So you can kind of see every red arrow. So that talks about the printing. Every red arrow represents a heat inset here. So you can see there's a lot of heat insets that have to go into this, okay? And there's some panel parts. There's the other side panel, okay? And then there's the accent parts that get the heat insets. This part down here is a filament spool holder I'm not using because I am running an AMS on this. And then, of course, they had this little part in here that was used to join the side parts together. And then this talks about the filament inlet, which we're going to deal with as well. So, yeah. So, as I said, we have already put these all together. Basically, there was that little joint part that went in here. You put it in and you click these together. And I could pull it apart, but it does do a good job of sticking them together extremely well. We've got heat insets everywhere we need them. On the doors, I have mounted the hinges. Now the hinges are mounted with magnets so that when you open the door kind of stays held open, okay? And then also the hinges are they have metallic pins in here. So if I take a magnet and that way I can take a magnet and pull, ideally, these pins are not overly super susceptible to the magnets, but if I give it a little bit of I can get it started. And it depends on the tolerance you have in your hinge there. Mine are pretty loose. It's just that these aren't very, I don't know. The pins will come out if you want to take your door rate off. Believe me, I've had them out. I can kind of force them to come out if I get a magnet on them just right. But basically, I bought a package of these little, I believe they were 3 millimeter by 30 millimeter pins that just fit these hinges just perfectly. And I can get them out, but I don't need to right now. Like right there, I'll just show you real quick here. I got that one started. Oops. Oh, it's being stubborn. There we are. You have to hit it on the opposite side. So just these little pins here. I think it's like a 3 millimeter by 30 millimeter pin. Just holds these hinges in place. I could drill these holes out a little bit more and make it a little more tolerable, but I can't see needing to take my door off, but if I do, it's very easy to get off. So yeah. You put 35 millimeters in yours to be able to pull it out easier. Oh, that's Cleo. I probably should have done that because really you should just be able to pull them out with a magnet, but yeah, that's okay. But hey, that's not about. The other thing I thought of was I could drill a tiny little hole at the bottom here and then just push a tiny, push a pin of some sort of a paper clip or something through the bottom to push the pin out if I want to do that. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so now we're going to move on to mounting these pieces. I don't have my acrylic yet. My acrylic is being cut for me this week. The acrylic is the last thing basically to go on for the doors, the sides, and then there's a small piece of acrylic that goes on the back, on the top, on the back here. My acrylic is being cut for me. I'm having 2 sets cut because I am enclosing 2 of these. I have this one and I have one downtown at my business. So use little wire flags. There we go. I need to work on my Nuno. This is a PG-16 stream. You're a good friend of Through the Frame and listed on the printables page as UK panel seller. Oh, very cool. Good. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm in the sign business, so I can I get my panels pretty reasonably priced. So I'm going to pop over here. This piece on the back we can prepare in a minute here. We got the ambidextrous door hinges. So I'd give my left arm to be ambidextrous, but that's a whole other story. Okay, so installation of printed parts is where we're going to start. So we're talking about installing the ARC P1P requires numerous M3 screws. Please refer to the bill of materials on the length and quantity. Always order extras. Install the screws, but do not tighten down until all the panels and brackets are in place. Okay, that's a little. I would recommend hand tighten and not with electric screwdriver, of course. 4 pieces, M3x10s required to secure the columns from the inside of the frame. Okay, so let me grab my screw kit. I have a panel there I keep dropping. Okay, I'm just going to move my keyboard off to the side here a little bit so I can put my kit of screws up here. I did order a bunch of M3 screws for this build. We have a whole bunch of different sizes here, so hopefully we have the right size. And let's go ahead and just start with whatever corner we want to start with. May as well start with the front side right here. Let's switch the camera over here. Give you guys a little better view. So we'll start right over here on this corner here. I will keep an eye on chat. You have on 3 of your P1Ps. Oh, that's cool, Cleo. Awesome. And if you're a good friend with Through the Frame, tell him that I love the build. I'm very impressed with it. So quite like it. So this guy, that's a back. This one is the side. So obviously I'm opening from this side. Or am I? No, this one's going. I'm just confusing myself here. Oh, there we are. So this is the side I'm opening from the right to the left. So this goes on this side like this. Now they're talking about inside. Now inside there are screw holes from the inside. Whoops, making a lot of noise here. That's the one thing about a Lazy Susan. It takes up a little bit of room. You need a fair bit of desk space. So we're going to be screwing into these insets that are in here for the top. And there's a couple here on the side that we're going in at an angle from over here. And then another one that's going in from in behind here. So I don't believe I have to remove any screws on this side. So we'll get this guy on first. And I believe these are all going to be good with M3 by 10s. So let's just see what happens. What material did it? Okay, Cleo, I printed them in PLA. Now, I was told that I shouldn't have done that, but because of the heat in the chamber, but I'm not convinced that the heat in the chamber is going to get hot enough to deform my PLA if I'm not printing like, say, PEEK or nylon. I mainly did this because I want to be able to print ABS on the P1P. So this is the one I'm going to have to, let's go over from this angle and find the hole. And I believe this is kind of awkward. There it is, right up in there. So this will tell me if I got all of my heat insets lined up correctly. That screw may be too short, but what I got to do too is, because of the way this heat inset went in from the outside, I got to make sure that I do have clearance on the thread on the inside, which I don't. So we're just going to run a screw through this side and clear that. I'm a rebel, yes. Okay, so I'm just going to run this screw through and clear out the plastic that was kind of jamming that in from the heat inset. I find it interesting that we put the heat inset in from the outside on this when you're actually screwing in from the inside. So it'll just temper most likely. Yeah, that's fine. And you know what? I know a guy that can print more parts if I need to, if it ends up not working. Okay, I need to clean out a little bit of plastic here. There we go. It's not enough. And exactly, Richard, that was my train of thought on it. You know, it's not like I'm going to be heating it up to 110, 120 degrees. Okay, there we go. That's good to go there. So let's get this on here. Here, I'll give you an overhead view so you can see kind of what I'm doing here. So I'm coming in from the inside and finding that hole, which should catch that thread I just cleared. There it is. So it did catch. So we're not going to tighten. Let's see. Okay, whoops. We don't want to over tighten that yet. It said to keep it loose. Okay. Now, then we're coming in. There's that one. There should be a bottom one on here too. There is a bottom one down here, but we're not going to put that on until we get our other little insert in there. Now we got a couple tiny ones that we got to put in the corner here. Now I don't have the proper size. Oops. I don't have the proper size button heads for these, but I do have flat heads, which should be just fine. The shortest button head I have is a 6mm, and I believe this was too long, if I remember seeing something somewhere. Yeah, this is going to be too long. I need a 4mm for in there. So we're going to use a 4mm flat one. Put the printer on its side. That might help. Okay, that works. Let's see if that's going to be... Oh yeah, that's going to be fine. So we're not going to tighten that up quite yet. These flatheads will be fine. They're not going to be in the way of anything. And then another little one right up here. These are the ones that are going in on a little bit of an angle. Righty-tighty, Tim. Okay, so that's this piece. It's not tightened up and down yet, but we're good. These ones here are where the acrylic panels are going to screw to, is these ones here, so we don't screw anything into them right now. Now we need a piece to go on the bottom here. I'm just going to, actually, first of all, let's get this other corner on here too. So this is going to be the corner with the hinge, which is going to go on just like so. And the same idea up above. I better make sure. I think I used a 8mm up here. Just make sure this can go in. And no, I got to clear some plastic out of there. No, the panels, there's no load on the panels. There's nothing is going to... It would take a lot of heat to deform these, I think. So they're pretty thick panels too. So here we go. Okay, clear that out. And let's see if I can grab the threads now. There we go. We got threads. Okay, put this on, find the hole. Oh, this one's a little... Oh, that one's way up top. Okay. Oh, there's some tape here. Oh, okay. There is. Okay, that is where the camera... Oh, I don't want to do that. That's the ribbon cable for the camera. It's popping in right here. So I'm going to need to lift this ribbon cable. Oh, interesting. I was just about pushing the screw through the ribbon cable. That wouldn't have been very smart of me. Let's see if I can peel this off. Okay. And move it just ever so slightly out of the way. Okay, there we go. So yeah, if you put your camera on there and you ran your ribbon cable straight down over that hole, be careful. Don't do what I almost did. There we go. Will the printer have more vibrations with the PLA parts attached to it? I don't think so. It'll do it. I'll do a calibration on it again for sure. So it will redo its input shaping. But I can't see it having, because these parts should be nice and tight to the frame, right? So as long as the parts are all nice and tight to the frame and you do the input shaping to allow for the extra mass on the printer, it should be fine. You think Bambu Lab should have given us the option to purchase the X1C shell, possibly in matte black? It would be fantastic with the glass door. Yes, for sure. Now, apparently the glass door does fit. Does fit on this too, if you have the proper framing for it, I suppose. Okay. Why does that? Oh, there we go. I have two different size heads on these screws. Okay, and these ones are just going to go in. These ones should go in. Why is that not screwing in? That one went in. That's why it's critical to get your heat insets in as straight as possible. There we go. Oh, no, it's not quite gripping. Oh, there we go. Squeaky. I think that's because I think I had some plastic in that heat inset. Okay, so there's those two pieces. Okay. Now, the back. uh, Tim is all scientific talking about mass and resonance. Oh, Liam, come on. Resonance frequencies, mass. So for the backs, this is not this side. This is this side. You can definitely tell if you got the right one because you don't want to cover up your power supply. So now for the back, this is where they say to be careful not to attach your top ones, etc., without making sure, because you got to pop off 1, 2. This one's okay. 3, 4, 5 or 6 screws here to take off here on the back to attach these. Richard McLean, absolutely. I'd love to. Yes, for sure. Maybe drop me an email and remind me, or I will remember. But yeah, for sure. I was a little hesitant about doing heat insets when I first did them, but it's really not too bad. There's a couple different ways to do it, and these are a different brand of heat insets or a different style of heat inset to what I've been using as well. So there's a couple different styles out there, but that's a good idea, Richard, for sure. Okay, so we're going to pop out these 2 screws. Now, I don't know if these are going to be long enough to put back in, but we'll find out. Probably not. No, we're definitely going to have to use some longer screws in here. Okay, those 2. And let's see. And 1, 2, and 3. And these 2 right here. Okay. And these are all coming out with a 2mm wrench. These ones are extremely tight. I do love doing heat insets, friendship lights. Don't mind them at all. Okay, and then these 3 right along here. And I believe these, nothing falls off when you take these out. And I believe these are here as optional cover attachments. So, and I believe those covers that you can print, that Bambu provides you with the files that you can print your own covers. This is all part of that whole system. I call it the whole panel ecosystem. Okay, so with those off, yours turn out with the threads blocked. Oh, okay. So with those off, this sits in there nice and flat now. There's no, oh, and I might be able to get away with the same size screws. Let's just have a look and see. Oh, not quite long enough. Okay, so let's use some 6mm on these. Okay, and again, we're not going to tighten these right up yet. You guys remember how I used to always be hunting around for different size screws and hardware? Well, hey, I have a system now. I'm telling you, this little kit I got is the cat's meow. What little kit? I'm not going to show you. It's a secret. Actually, before I do these, let me get those. I want to make sure I can get this top one in. And I believe that was an 8mm we were using. Nothing falls out just as half the printer is disintegrated with the removal of the last bolt. Psh, you got it, Liam. So we're going to put this inside one in. Let's move the head out of the way here a bit. Oops. That was just the head moving across the little head banger thing. Oh. So this is just, I'm just going inside here and getting this top one in. And am I going to grip? I seem to have missed that screw. Come on. But I can see the hole. So it's a matter of lining it up with the threads. I should have put this one in first. Oh, this is too short. Okay, that's what's happening. This is too short. So that's an 8. Let's use a 10. One step below cardboard box. Check. There we go. Yeah, 8mm was just too short. I could read the instructions and find out what size screws I should be using for these, but that would be just too easy. Although that 10 seems a little long. It shouldn't stick out there. Let me see. Maybe that 8. Maybe that 8mm was not an actual 8mm. Because, you know, sometimes the parts do get mixed up. Let me see. They all look... They look like 8s. Let's try this once more. Why don't those emoticons? No, definitely can't put an 8 in there. So it's going to be a 10. And I don't have 9s. I don't even know if you can get 9s. Could always put a washer in there if I don't like it. Mm-hmm. And now, there it is. Okay, that one's on. Oh, what am I doing? Can't use the original screws. Using 6s. ABS has better heat resistance, yes, than PLA. Chamber temps and whatnot could cause PLA to have an issue. Well, we'll see. If it does, David, I would definitely just reprint them. So far, it's not a hard build. And it would give me more heat inset work, which, hey, can never get enough of heat inset work, right? Okay, so those are all on loosely. So we're going to have to remove this guy because the filament path is now going to come in under through here. So we're going to take this guy off. Filament's now going to come in through here. Hello, DBR. Doing really well. Thank you so much. So let's remove this. And I took, before I started the stream, of course, I have the AMS, but I took the AMS unit off, as well as the, whatchamacallit, that was on here, because I'm not quite sure how the AMS unit and everything is going to mount with this, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. So this is going to come off. I believe I can take that because the PTFE is going to come right out through here, and we'll get into that in a minute. So this is the other panel that's going to go here. So again, I've got to remove those two. There's nothing there. I've got to remove these two. And 1, 2, 3. Okay. So there's another 4 screws in the back. 3 and 2 is 4. Yeah, there we go. Not 5 screws I got to remove. Cable chain mod. Yeah, I was looking at that. And I might do that eventually, but for now, no. I think what's going to happen is this may end up rubbing on the top panel as it goes back and forth. So I may end up wanting to do that cable chain mod as well. Because last thing I want something to do is rub against the back of that thing. I'm just going to, while I'm here, I'm just going to pop off. That doesn't quite work. Let me grab my, what are we at? 2mm. I'm going to pop off that spool holder. I've not, since I put the AMS on, I've not used, and I can't foresee needing my external spool holder here. So we're just going to get rid of this right now. You'd bet money the PLA won't warp. Well, I'm betting they won't warp as well. Definitely. I'm agreeing with you, Richard. So 3 and 2 is not 4. I know, Jack. I was hoping nobody would hear that. And believe it or not, I was really, really, really good at math in school. So let's put these back in. Was it this one? Which one did I just take out of there? I think it was this one. Nope. It was... Which one did I just take out? Not that it matters. I just don't want to put one in there that's too long. Maybe this one? That looks good to me. Whatever. Okay. Whatever. So we'll pop these ones out here. PLA likes to melt in Florida. No kidding. I have no problem, Jose, keeping it cold on the outside. This basement I'm in is the ambient temperature in this basement's pretty low. Even in the summer, this is where I come to cool off. So we don't get very hot in the basement here. Okay, here we go. So we can start securing all this, but first thing I'm going to do is make sure that I have clearance on this hole here for when I screw from the inside. So we'll take our sacrificial screw here. We'll go through the heat inset this way. The only resistance I feel is when I come through, because when you push the heat inset in, it's pushing plastic, melted plastic, out and down the other side. And so this is what I'm pushing through, is the rest of that melted plastic, which not much. So I say I'm surprised that we didn't put this heat inset in from the inside, because we're screwing from the inside. But hey, there's a reason for everything. ABS is as much of a fire risk. Oh, you guys are having a conversation about the yeah, it's a everybody's going to have a different opinion about that, but what's really going to inform me is what works. If I have issues with the PLA panels, hey, I print them in, take it off and print them in ABS next time. I have a lot of great ABS colors in the Polymaker filament. So I think 6mm ones will work for these two as well. Now these ones, why didn't I think I need to, oh, okay, on these back ones here, I want to make sure, because we're going to have a panel go in the back here. Okay, and that panel is just going to stay right there. Okay, so I can put screws in these ones. And 6mm too short. Let's go with the 8s. Those are better. Okay. And as the instruction said, I'm just keeping these things relatively loose until everything is kind of attached. I forgot to put the 8s in up here. Okay. And I got to put one in on the top over here. Let's move that out of the way. And I needed a 10 on the other side, so I'm going to assume I'm going to need a 10 on this side. I could be wrong. But no. Looks like a 10 was it. Okay. What just fell? Ah, okay. Just one of my screws on the side here came out because I didn't quite have it snugged in there enough. There we go. Okay. Okay, we got these 4 guys on. Let's have a quick peek at the instructions. So we've done that. We've got the inside screws on like they've suggested there. Now we're going to go and put the middle panel on the sides, on both sides. So we have the run side and the other side. And then we're going to come up and we're going to put the back panel on, but we got to handle that PTFE routing there first. Okay, seems pretty simple. So let's go to the sides first. Now on this side, I believe, oh, the one thing I want to do first is, well, I guess I could do it whenever. Is this glued in? I'm not happy with my LED light that I put in here, so I'm just going to quickly, oh, that's taped in there with VHB tape. I'm going to quickly get this light out. Do this while I've got this in this position. I'm going to pop this light out. Because I made a mistake on this light of printing the cover in a non-transparent material. So I'm just going to pop this light out. And this just plugs into the little board right here. Come on, right there. Another news, yay for more 3D printer streams. Yay, of course. What color is that? Polymaker teal. No, the green, this green here, this is, where's my camera? My camera, there we are. This green, my accent color, is just Bambu Lab green PLA. And the gray that we're using for the main, this is Prusament Galaxy Black PLA. I don't have any, I do have Polymaker teal, but I haven't printed anything in Polymaker teal yet. So for this guy, I want to get rid of this, just want to get rid of this dumb clear lens I put on here. I glued this piece in on the end here, but I only used super glue. I don't think, and I think I should be able to get this apart to slide this lens out. I'd rather have bare LEDs than have this lens in here. So let's just see. No, that's just going to break my blade off in there, which it did. So let me grab that blade out of there. There we go. I glued this in pretty good. I can always fix this up later. Yeah, I'll do that later. I don't want to worry about that, but I just wanted to get that out of there. But when you do, if you do print the light, don't print a white cover thinking that the light's going to shine through and be bright, because it's pretty much useless. So we'll do that another time. I'm careful, Jack. I haven't cut myself in a day. Behind the screen for better lighting, yeah, that's probably good. I might even get some LEDs and line it or something. Yeah, we'll see. Especially with the cover going on, it's going to need some special kind of lighting. So the bottom pieces are pretty easy because they're basically exactly the same. They have little nubs that go in the little nubs. There's little cutout nubs on both sides here. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, the top pieces are pretty much the same too. One has the ARC logo on it, the other one doesn't. I don't think it matters which side they go on, but these are going to go up top here. What is holding that one back? Oh, one of them, hang on, maybe the inside. No. That one goes there. This one didn't seem to fit. Okay, so these little nubbies here are in a little bit of a different position. Okay, so you can see that this bump is not quite in the same position as this bump. So they will only fit on one side. So it's the ARC one that is made. Nope. The ARC one goes on the other side. This one sits in here. Okay. The ARC one, that little piece is not in the right position. There we go. Okay. So again, this one screws in from the inside into this heat inset. Whoops. And I think I can get away with a... I had to get that light out of there anyways because the light was sitting right in where I have to screw that in. I think I can get away with an 8mm on this one. Let's just see. I'm pretty sure I can. Careful little wires in there. Yeah, 8mm will definitely work. That might even be too long. Let's go and let's try a 6. Plain side with oval is for the serial number. Oh, that's right. Once you get it put together, you can apply for the serial number and they send you a plate that goes in there. Or I could print my own fake plate, right, David? Something else to support the idea of PLA being okay. Most enclosures use acrylic, which is similar melting point as PLA. Of course they are, yeah. Never heard of acrylic melting off a printer enclosure. Neither have I yet. First times for everything, right? Okay, 6mm. Yeah, I think that's going to work. Boom, boom, boom. Come on. Get the hole. Get in the hole. There we go. Yeah, 6mm fine for that one. Why are you not sitting in there? Oh, I think the piece is a little, that's going to, I've got some pieces that are going to go up top here to hold that in. So basically, now we have a couple of green pieces that go up top that hold these in, and it'll get this all leveled out. Because for some reason that is twisting pretty good. So I'm going to loosen this off. There we go. There we go. The part is printed flat. That's the printing, that's the bed surface. So, but I'll show you what's happening. If I tighten it too much, it tends to want to pull this piece out. But I'll be pushing it in because we have these little L clamps that are going to go on the side here, and they're going to hold that in place. First time for everything. He sends an STL file for you to print. Oh, cool. You get it. Yes, David Vera, you get a serial number for building this enclosure. Pretty cool. Okay, and I think these are going to be good with 6mm screws. Let's just see. Yes, these will be fine. So that one. I read over the instructions. I watched a little bit of the video, but for the most part, it's pretty common sense because it'll really only go together one way. Now let's just see. I think just exactly after saying what I just said, I want to make sure that I get the right sides on the right parts because there's two different styles of these things here. So hang on one second. Let's just see if I get the right style on this. That talks about the glass. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so because we have ones that are slotted that go around, and I believe these ones are for the back because that's where your acrylic is going to rest against on the back. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Why does it look like I'm short two of these? It's okay. I've got another bag of parts over here. I might have mixed it up with the other one. But if I am short, I will just steal some from this. But I'm trying to, if the printer gives up life and decides to set itself on fire, I don't think the material it's built won't make much difference. The time you take it to notice is the most important. Exactly. Exactly. I'm just wanting to look and see, okay, on this image here, trying to see which, okay, it looks like, yeah, it looks like the back clips are the ones that don't go over the edge and the side clips are the ones that do go over the edge. Okay. So I just wanted to make sure, because as I say, we have two kinds of clips here. We have this kind, which has a little lip on the edge, and then we have this kind, which is just flat. So these, based on the pictures, are going on the back, and these go on the sides. So I've got this correct. But I am short two clips, but that's okay. Fortunately, I printed two sets of the whole build, so I can just steal some from my other enclosure and reprint some. PLA was the first I got into as well, and I think that's pretty common that PLA would be the first thing that people get. There we go. That finishes off nicely, and then this provides a nice little. There we go, a nice little ledge for the upper acrylic to sit on. And then let's snug this one. There we go. That's perfect. And then obviously the serial number is going to go right in there when it's done. Okay. So our bottom piece for this side doesn't matter. These are, let me make sure I don't make a liar out of myself. These are exactly the same. Exactly. So these ones we have, Now it looks like this one is going to screw into a hole right there. So that slides in underneath these panels, which is why we left them loose. Just like that. Okay, now we screw it. Hey, Golden Jaguar. Golden Jaguar. This P1P is so slow, is it? Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Game on, man. Game on. Could avoid the warranty with this mod? No. I would, let's put it this way. I certainly hope not. We're not modifying the function or the mechanical function or the electrical or mechanical function of the printer. So there's nothing, all we're doing is enclosing the printer. So no, I would say no. If Bambu Lab were to come and say, oh, you put an enclosure on it, well, your warranty is void, I would have something to say about that. And I am sure the community as a whole would have something to say about that. Okay, so this side, I feel very confident that I can now snug up these ones. Because we got this side completely on. If I could actually find the screw. There it is. I think I need a longer screw for this one too. Yeah, I do. That's going to be a 10 millimeter. Doop, doop, doop. Yeah, as David said there, we're not modifying anything on the printer, just enclosing. On the back panel, now, David, no, again, I agree with you. There was somewhere on the back of this, there is or was a sticker, but they sent along, they send you a fan. Now, when you buy the P1P, you get a free fan, auxiliary fan, right? Now, the auxiliary fan, in order to, I'm going to have to reroute that. In order to install the auxiliary fan right here, you have to take the back panel off. So you cannot, they can't say taking the back panel off voids your warranty, because they're saying, hey, you want to install our auxiliary fan, you've got to take your back panel off to get at the electronics board, to get at the main board to plug your fan in. So yeah, no. No. And theoretically for this mod, the back panel doesn't come off. Those screws that came out were made for putting an enclosure on. So the back panel doesn't come off at all. But yeah, no, but to that point, yeah, you have to take the back panel off to do your auxiliary fan, which they give you the instructions on how to do. So if they were to say, oh, you void your warranty because you took the back panel off, they would raise a lot of flack amongst the community, and it wouldn't be good for them. So yeah. Oh, these guys here, just going to make sure I don't forget to tighten down some screws. There we go. Okay, so we got that done, that done. Now we're going to go on this side, and up here is where the ARC logo goes. Oops. Switch this. This is where the ARC logo goes, so right up here. Bah! 10 millimeter screw here. No, this was a 8. Or was it a 6? I don't remember. You'll increase the temps inside the printer. If you have any issues caused by that, which is not very likely, you could definitely skip on the warranty. It's a gray area, you know. They again, I'm going to say no, because I suppose the enclosure that they sell you or the enclosure that they give you the instructions for is not a full enclosure to a degree, but they do actually encourage that you print your own enclosure. So I don't know. Anyways, I think it would depend on the circumstances. And I think Bambu Lab would take it a case at a time. And yeah. Hey, old curmudgeon, how are you? Nicest guy ever. Thanks, Richard. Been debating whether I'll melt my printer, and I'm just saying, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I'm not worried about a fire hazard. That's definitely not worried about that. So, oh, okay, here we go. Maybe I mixed these parts up. So here's what I was talking about earlier, and I didn't get to show because I'd already popped it out. But so that's this part that we're putting to hold that on now. And if you look, they've built in the supports. So all you do is just take your little whatever, and you just go pop, and your supports pop out, and pop, and where they go, I don't know. Oh, there it is. And one of them I'll probably step on later. But yeah, yeah, I mean, it's not going to burn the house down. And worst case scenario, I reprint some parts. You know, you're going, the closest I've ever come to a fire in this studio, and a lot of you may have seen it, some of you may not, is that little quote unquote kids printer that did not have thermal runaway, that had a crappy hot end. I went upstairs for 5 minutes, came back down to a printer that was having a meltdown, literally. There is a video out there on it if you're interested in seeing it. Finally enjoying a reduction in overtime. Been since summer that you've had more of, oh wow. It's good to have some downtime. All work and no play makes OT, makes OCM, whatever. So, but that's the closest I've ever had. And all of these other printers since then, I mean, that was a whole lesson in itself on what not to trust in cheap printers that are supposedly made for kids. But these printers all have thermal runaway protection. Poop happens, but that's why, you know, whenever I have a long print running on this, I can monitor it. It's again, you take chances, I suppose, with everything you do. There we go. There's the top part done on that. And the bottom, same idea here. This is going to slide in, and those two little nubbies are going to find their way into the nubby holes, just like so. There we are. These were 6s. How much noise reduction? I imagine there's going to be maybe 5 or 10% noise reduction with this. I don't personally find the P1Ps to be all that loud. Mind you, I'm not, you know, they're in a basement, so, and I don't hear them when I'm upstairs when they're running. And these do run all night. In some cases, they've run all night. So, but I imagine there'll be a little bit of noise reduction because we're almost fully enclosing it. So, and I say almost because it's not airtight. There's no seals going on it or anything. So there we go. And then basically on this side, actually let me just finish snugging these things up now that we've got it all fitting. Come on. Two here, two here. When printing things like carbon fiber, and others that warp. Will be the enclosure help a lot with this? Yes. This enclosure is going to help with ABS, ASA. It should help with the warping happening on the bed because it's going to help increase the ambient temperature inside the printer. I've run ABS on this printer without the enclosure, and it's been fine. It's been fine. Oh, there goes that back again. The ABS I've run has been fine as long as I don't go too tall. Because obviously the taller I go, the longer it takes to print. The longer it takes to print, the more chances there are of warping because the ambient temperature in this room is chilly. I would say I'm about 18 Celsius, 17 Celsius in this room. So this enclosure will help the heat from the printer escape a lot slower. So it should help with, it should definitely help with the warping that is generally caused by not having an enclosure for ABS. But you can print ABS without an enclosure. I mean, I've done it. So I didn't put screws in these ones. I didn't put screws in these ones. See what happens when I talk and work? Oh yeah, I mean, you could probably seal this thing up tighter than the duck's ass. You know, more watertight than a duck's ass. But you know, you need to. I'm not going to run nylon on this. I don't see. I mean, if I need to run nylon, I'll run it on one of my Vorons or rat rig or no, not the rat rig. The rat rig's not enclosed, and I don't intend to enclose it, but. So, but I have a plan. It's laugh or not, but one of the first jobs I'm going to run on this thing once I get the panels on it, and this is enclosed, is I am running all new. I'm stripping down my Voron Trident, my 250 millimeter Trident, stripping down and getting all new parts printed. And oops, something happened here. This little guy slipped off. Oh, let's just move this over. And all the parts are going to be printed on this for the new parts I'm doing for the Voron, for the Trident. So this is going to be printing a whole set of Voron parts. So that'll be interesting to see. I just have to make sure I tightened everywhere that needs tightening. These two I don't think I did yet. No, there. And I'm pretty sure I didn't do this top one. There we go. Okay, so yeah, so the sides. So now we have, yeah, that one's sticking out a little bit far. I'm going to probably put a washer, but now we have, so we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 4, 10, 12, 14, 12 or 14 to hold the acrylic panel on both sides. The acrylic panels will screw on both sides. There's going to be a door that's going to go on the front. And on the front, this is going to be, that'll be the door latch. That'll be the door latch here. Okay, so these are going to screw onto the acrylic panel that's coming. So you're just going to basically whoop, whoop, like that. Maybe not that noise. And the door will go on front, which will look very cool. So, and then there's going to be acrylic panel on the top. So now we're going to work on the filament path here. Lurking for a bit. Sounds good. Geeking off the bean. Hello, hello. Yeah, I know I've been reading your comments, but I didn't say hello when you came on the stream. You only plan to paint with polyamide PA12, make a frame for a goat cart. A goat cart. A goat cart or a go-kart? Oh, wow. The enclosure looks great. The enclosure is going to make it look almost classy, you know, in a sense. I like the fact that I can, now I've also seen different mounts for these. I'm going to look into a different mount for this little touchscreen, but I like the fact that I can still have my Polymaker sticker up there, et cetera, et cetera. So, okay, on the back, now the filament path. This part here, where am I missing this part from? Hang on a second. This might be, oh, this I think is going to be going on the back here, I think. Yeah, let me just double check. Yeah, that goes on the back. Okay, so there's two parts of the filament path. We have an inside part, which kind of goes, let's just move this out of the way here. This part kind of slides in like, oh, come on, like so, like that. And then we have another part here that goes on the outside, kind of like that. And then that kind of goes. But in reading this, what I need to ensure, hey, NH3D, how are you, sir? Is that I have clearance enough here for the PTFE tube. So I'm going to pull this out of here, and I'm going to make sure that this clearance is going to work. So let's just see. It's not bad. It's a little snug, but that's okay. It's just reverse Bowden, so we're okay. That's a little snug there. And let's make sure that we have good clearance on this one. This is the one. Oh yeah, and that's plenty of clearance on there. Okay, so now in reading the instructions, I can go ahead and assemble these two pieces outside of here, and then we're going to pop it in. And then when we put this on is when we're going to kind of, oh, did I miss two heat insets? I did. I missed two heat insets. Look at that. You guys get to watch me do some heat insets. Yeah, David Wilson's got all these printers and more. So David Wilson's a great guy to listen to as far as what's good and what's not in this world. Yeah, I missed a couple heat insets. So we're going to grab our, let's see, is that one going to sit flat? Now I'll just do these freehand, these guys. I'm just going to grab my iron out here with my heat inset tool. Heat up the iron. It shouldn't take long. There we go. So we'll just let that heat up safely. Just make sure that, you know, it's on there tight. And is it actually heating up? Are we on? Are we on? Testing. Hello, hello. Is this live? Hello. Oh yeah, that's on. Okay, we're good. And I'll grab a couple of those heat insets. They are in my, which toolbox are my heat insets in, guys? Not this one. Let's see. Not this one. Process of elimination. There we go. There's my heat insets. So there's two kinds of heat insets that I've used. So we have, they're both 3 millimeter. It's all a matter of the depth. So that's the heat inset that I'm using. Hang on, no, those are the same thing. No, these are, it's really hard to tell, but this is the one that I've been using on the Voron builds. Come on, focus, right there. It's got that little lip. You can kind of see it. This is the one, it's a little skinnier that I've used on the arc enclosure here, because we don't want to go much deeper than that. So I'm using those little guys. So we're going to pop two of those out. Now for this particular type, normally with those other type of heat insets, you could actually put them in here and they would sort of sit in the hole nicely, and then you can put your iron on it. These ones here don't quite sit in the hole too perfectly because there's no little ridge or anything on these things to kind of guide you into that hole. This is also, they're not great for 3D printing. Yeah, but these are the only ones that are going to work in this, and these are the ones that I needed. So for these particular ones, what I've been doing is I've been taking this very carefully. Don't burn your finger. I've been putting the heat inset on the iron, okay? And actually, before I do that, there's actually sides to consider. One side has a tiny little bevel, and you want to make sure that bevel is the part that's sticking out, because that's kind of where the screw kind of centers itself to go into the inset. The other side So the one side of these, you can kind of see it's got almost like a little lip, and the other side has kind of like a little bevel. So I put that bevel that it goes up. For this purpose, it's okay. Yes, absolutely. So I put this on the iron, boom, like so, and I take my piece and I just go like this, and then it finds its way into the hole, and just like that, and it works just fine. So again, I make sure that the bevel is the one sticking up. Put it on the iron. Don't hold it on there too long or you'll burn yourself. Those things heat up very fast. Then we just go like this, and it kind of self-centers itself on the hole, and boom, just like that, nicely cleanly inserted. That one there can go in a little further. You can see it's sticking up a little bit, and you see how it's on a little bit of an angle. So that one there can probably use a little bit more on this side. So we've just squared that up a little bit. You don't want to go around doing that too much, because it's going to go in a little bit deeper yet. There we go. Now, I also have made myself a device. I put it away, but there's, I took one of the other heat inset tools I had, I grinded the tip off. So if you have to remove them, I've got one that's got a thread on the tip of this so that you can actually quickly screw it in, heat it up, and it'll just pull out nice and easy. And then you can, press on the table to make it flush. Yeah, I could do that, but these are good. That's how I did all these. But pressing on the table to make it flush is a good idea as well. While it's hot. They cool off very fast. I find they cool off very fast to the point where, like 2-3 seconds after you've removed the iron, you can't move them. They're still hot to touch. So let's put that iron where I'm not going to melt anything. Right about there. It's good. Okay, back to this guy. So we're going to take this piece I just did and this piece here, and these are going to be self-tapping screws that are going to come through here. So I think these are going to be about 6 millimeter, and this is just going to thread into plastic. Again, why they didn't put heat inserts in these, I don't know, but again, not my design, and it could very well just be because they didn't want to have a weaken the structure here. But these are just going to thread into plastic like so. Oh, come out. And this guy's going to come on here, and I'll show you this when I get this in. And then I'll snug this down. And when you're threading into plastic, do not crank it too tight, because you don't want to strip it. So basically, that's what that's going to look like. So we have that. So you can see, if we go through, you'll be able to see the path right there for the PTFE tube. It's going to go straight through that path. Hey, Stephen Lebed, happy Sunday. Now, the other thing I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to grab, I believe it's a 4 millimeter. Yeah, and I'm just going to take my drill. Doesn't say to do this, but I'm going to do it anyways. It's a 4 millimeter outer diameter PTFE, reverse Bowden tube, PTFE, whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to make sure that it's a nice clean path. There we go. That way nothing's going to snag it, but don't go bigger than 4 millimeters, because you don't want that to be too loose. Okay. Let's put this, don't know what I was using this other bit for, so we'll just put it away. Okay. Now this can just kind of sit in here loosely like this for now. Okay, now I got to refer to the instructions again. You made the tool to remove heat sets. I did, Nuno, yes. Where did I put it though? I'll show it to you real quick, because I had 4, because I've built 4 of the LDO Voron kits. I had 4 of their heat inset tools. So I took one of their heat inset tools. So the LDO kit comes with your standard heat inset tool that looks like this. Okay, and basically what this is for is you can thread on a couple heat insets to set your depth. But you can see the tip of it is plain where you would lay your heat inset. So I took one of these because I had 4 of them. I cut off that top part. And so now I just have a heat inset tool that's just strictly a thread. And I very, very carefully filed it. So now, if I want to remove a heat inset, all I do is put this on the soldering iron instead. And then when it's hot, I just take my soldering iron, I quickly do a quick turn like that. It doesn't have to go in much. And then as it heats, I just slowly pull that out, and it'll pull that heat inset out. And it won't hurt the hole at all. It'll keep it clean. I could even put another heat inset back in. But yeah, that's my heat inset removal tool. So pretty neat. And I just did that I just grinded that off with a Dremel. It's brass, so it cut real easy. So cut very easy. Okay, so this guy kind of sits up in here just like that for now. And I'm going to quickly refer to the instructions on this. Although I'm pretty sure I know what I'm doing here now. Let's just make sure. Before I put this in, we're going to get the PTFE tubing coming through. Like this. There we go. This will sit in here like this. So this will come out. Now I'm wondering if I'm going to be needing to put this other piece back in. I probably am. Let's see if this needs to go back on. And it probably does. Yeah, this thing I think is going to need, because this is where the AMS is going to be coming in as well. So that'll probably end up going back on. But for now, this kind of just sits in here like this. And then when this cover comes on, like so, this is what's going to hold this in place right here. So now we're going to have a screw come through. There we go. I think that's what I got to do there. Let's just double check these images here. Yeah, that's on the inside. That's going through. That's coming through to the outside. And they don't really give you, yeah. So we got heat insets there. Back of panel frame. Okay, so and I believe those are going to be fine with M6s again. M3 6mm. Yeah, Nuno, you did give me that idea, and that, you know, well, hey, a lot of the ideas come from the crowd. That's maybe a little short. Let's see. Those are a bit short, so we're going to need 8mm. Again, I could read the instructions, but that's no fun. There we go. Manual says 8mm. Yeah, I know, David. Who reads manuals, though, right? I should. Okay. Okay, so this is a case where that's probably that heat inset that was a little crooked. Let's see. That's why you want to get these heat insets nice and straight. There we go. That one's lined up now. If it's off by a little bit, you can usually twist it into place. And there we go there. Okay, now we have these little back. There's going to be another little screw going here. Let me throw a 6mm in here. This looks like it's going to be a 6. But hang on. Now these pieces, that's going to go. Okay. So what this is for is this is an adjustable piece to hold your top acrylic panel down. Aha. this one looks like it's going to be fine with a 6. Or is that even a hole? I don't even think that's a hole. No, it's not. It's not even a screw hole. So what am I doing? But why is... Interesting. Why is that there? Hey, LT or GBB. Hopefully I said that right. Let's go ahead and put these guys on. This will level out that top piece. Let's see, so we're going to loosen this one a little bit. And loosen this one a little bit. And this one's going to come over a little bit. Because I'm not quite getting this hole here. Let's just see if I can get this in the hole. Come on. Come on. Get in there. It's definitely a nice snug fit. There we go. And like so. Now we'll get this side pinned on. Looks very good. I like the look of this cover. Definitely glad I went with Galaxy filament, because Galaxy does a couple things. Gives it a really classy look, and it also, Galaxy can hide a lot of extrusion issues on your Z. If you have any Z issues on your Z banding or stuff, you can hide. Not that I'm hiding a lot, but Galaxy filament can hide a lot of issues. Okay. There's that one. Okay, so this one's a little bit angled. There's a tiny little bit of play in these ones as far as up and down. There we go. So you can level these a little bit because there's a little bit of slot in there. Okay, now this little guy is going to go on here, and this is, as I say, going to be to, although that doesn't seem right because there's no holes. Let's just see here. Where are the holes for that? That's what's, let me just check, because what's happening here now, this here is going on the back. I'm making the assumption, because they're slotted, that this is where your acrylic is going to slide under, and you're going to be able to hold your acrylic down with this. But these are not really, they're not really screw holes, and I don't really want to drill that out. You'll need to remove some of the existing screws at the back. We know that. In the arc column, and mount the screws back to secure the back columns in the printer frame. Okay, we did that. Okay. And yeah, it's not really talking about, unless in his video he does mention that, and I don't recall seeing that in his video. So what I'm looking at right here is this piece is shown as going right here, okay? And it's lining up, these slots are lining up with these two little holes right here. But these two little holes are those used they use self-tapping. Oh, okay, is that what they do? Okay. Those would be M2 self-tapping. Where are my self-tapping screws? They might be. I guess they are self-tapping. That's the only explanation. Actually, I'm missing a screw right here too. I am missing a screw right here. It's too long. Is that too long? No, that's not too long. This enclosure, yes, this enclosure was printed on this printer. Yeah. And it is because, of course, the printer can't print that height, but it's two pieces. So you can kind of see the gap right there where it was printed. And then they snap together. There's a little piece in the middle that snaps them together. But it was all printed on this printer, yes. Oh, there's the one of the spare pieces I was looking for. So that can go back in my other accessory bag. But yeah, these have got to be, they got to be self-tapping, I guess. The screws I removed from the back. Really? I don't recall removing those top two screws, David. Huh. But let's just see. These are the shortest ones. Was I supposed to remove two screws from under there? No, there was no screws under there. They're sitting flat against the frame. Boom, boom, boom. And none of these are really self-tapping screws. So, well, you've built one of these, so you've built one of these. But yeah, these are the really short ones, and yeah, these are not going to definitely not going to self-tap into there. That is unless, hang on a minute. Were they heat insets from the inside? Let me just have a look. Let me just have a look here. Let's go ahead and pop this off real quick and see if there was heat insets on the inside of that I didn't drill through or screw through. Let's have a quick peek in underneath this again. At least it'll be quick to put back together. Hey, Paul Cumber. Okay, so pop this off. Let's just move this kind of, that can lift, that can kind of lift. Oh, they are heat insets. Okay. They're heat insets in the inside there. Whoops. That I didn't screw through, which is why I can't see the thread. Okay. Why not put the heat insets on the other side, other than the fact, I guess, to hide them? That confused me, because if you can see now, what's happening is it's pushing some of the plastic through. There we go. Because the heat insets were put in from behind, which is kind of unusual. So now, so you can see the difference between that one that I just cleaned out and the one that's not cleaned out. Okay. And there's really nothing you can do about that when they're telling you to put the heat inset in from the backside, because it just pushes the plastic right through. There we go. Cleaned it out. Okay, that makes perfect sense. And I do see the other screw I was supposed to remove too, David. Oh, I didn't catch this in the instructions right here. Okay. See? Everybody makes mistakes, especially me. Ha ha ha. Ah, boy. That's okay, David. We're okay. There's always an answer to a mystery, right? There's always a solution. Could have been worse. I could have grabbed my drill and drilled that out. That would have been a big dumb thing to do. Okay. This is how we learn. Okay, let's get this guy up through here. Okay. I have a crap load of 6mm screws that I bought. I could build 20 of these enclosures with them. Come on. Oh, that's right. These were 8s. These were 8s. They don't hold the top down, just keep it in the correct location. Oh, I see. Yeah, no, exactly. But that one does. Looks like that one piece does hold the top down. Come on. Mm-hmm. You would have dropped at least a handful of screws by now. I usually do. I usually do. There we go. Okay, get these ones in. Okay. Oh, my back is not enjoying this right now, but that's okay. I can muscle through the rest of this. This one does not seem to want to go in. That seems to be very shallow. So let's just use a 4mm on this one. That's good enough. Okay, and now we need a 6 in the middle where we just took that other bamboo one out. Right there. Okay. Now this is going to make better sense. So I'm thinking 6mm on this guy. It's going to go right in here. Yep, there we go. That makes more sense. I just missed that one step because I'm not looking at the manual enough. So now this can be loosened. And then when your acrylic goes on, you can actually adjust this to pinch down on your acrylic to hold your acrylic in place. But I wouldn't hold it too tight because you might want to take the top off, although this is going to have an AMS sitting on top of it. So we'll just put this on at its highest position for now. I'm getting 3mm acrylic cut. There we go. So that's kind of what that kind of looks like from the top, just like that. Actually, I could always just do this. There we go. So the acrylic will slide in. So these are kind of guides for the acrylic, which is going to slide in. And again, I'm not a fan of the fact that these cables are probably going to rub. Oh, I didn't put the PTFE tube back through this guide here, so let's do that. Let's put this back through here. Maybe I'll do a cable chain on this eventually. That's coming back through here, like so. Make sure I've got full range of motion here still. There's my farthest point. Okay, and there we go. Now I'm pretty sure I'm going to want to put this back on and have this. I may need to use a longer piece of PTFE here because that's going to pull just a little too tight when I put this back on in order to reach this. So I'm going to have to, do I have any tubing? Let's just have a quick peek and see. Here, let's just go ahead and do this, and I'll just check and see if I have any PTFE tubing here. I could always steal it off of my trident because I'm rebuilding the trident. So let's steal this. There we go. Let's steal a piece off the trident. Almost need a top hat. Yeah, I could probably modify something to make to do a top hat on it because even no matter what I do here, something is going to rub on that acrylic. Even if I could shorten this wire here a little bit more, like that, but you're still going to get, rubbing on the acrylic here, right? So you can see here, this is going to stick up just above. So you're going to get rubbing regardless. You get rubbing on the 2.4. You get rubbing on a lot of these things. So. Yeah, not stealing, it's borrowing. Exactly. Okay, so let's go and, whoops, just knocked my, there we go. Let's take this off. How is this sealed in here? Let's see. Oh, this has a, I need to hold this down, get this PTFE out of here. Come on. There we go. Let's take this out, yank this out, and how long do I need? So if I go about another 3-4 inches, that's lots. Let's just cut more than I need. And I'll just have to remind myself to order more PTFE, reverse Bowden tubing. And we'll go back in where you belong. There you go. Run it through the little holders. And through the hole. Sound effects and all, look at that. Maximum length. Oh yeah, we got lots now. Move this cable over and under. There we go. There we go. We're good. And on this end, we have lots to get into our, actually have too much, but let's go ahead and put this guy back on. Okay. So we're going to take these two out that we put in. And throw this guy back in. Like so. And I believe it was this one. There we go. Oh, we're a little bit, okay, so that's not quite going to do. Hang on. Now maybe this can't go back. Ah, no. Interesting. It's not going to be able to go back and function exactly the way it did, unless I've got that mixed up. Let's see. No, because this little guy is going to be in the way. Unless I go this way and then come from under. Let's see. See if that'll work. If I go that way and come from underneath. No, that's too much of a bend there. Interesting. Not needed with AMS. Oh, okay. Well, but the AMS is going to come into here. I do need a coupler for the AMS, but I could actually probably just tighten it into the one spot. Let's see. Let me see how that can go. Because I definitely need a coupler here. Or I could just put this in the middle and not even worry about attaching it. Let's cut this off a little bit. There we go. Where'd that piece go? Somewhere on the floor. So then this can come in this side. And then A little shorter. We got to come a little bit shorter. Yeah, I think I can just sort of screw that just in place with the one screw. Okay. Okay. You left yours off. Yeah. Yeah, I'll just do this. Put one screw in there. We will go here and I'll just shorten this one a little bit more. Right about there. Keep dropping pieces on my floor. Push you in here like that. And then we'll screw you in. Just like that. That should be fine. That's a nice straight smooth path right there, and then we'll just hit the AMS tubing right in here. So this will just come straight out of here up to the AMS. That should be good. Now I have 3 pieces. So these 2 pieces are going to be, one's going to be the door handle and the other one's going to be the top hat handle. So one's going to kind of go up on the front of the acrylic here for lifting it up and out, and the other one's going to be for the door. I got to figure out what this little insert right here is for. This is for something. But boy, it looks good, and that went together not too bad at all. So there's an acrylic panel that's going to screw on the back here. It's going to come up. I'm not sure if it goes around these or if, anyways. So there's an acrylic panel that goes on the back here. One for the side, one for the other side, one for the door. Still need the buffer. Oh, that's right. I still need the buffer on the back for the AMS. How's the acrylic panel gonna, is the acrylic panel going to, I want to see how the acrylic panel on the back goes. Oh, so it just rides just above the buffer. I see. Okay, and we're going to be putting some 6x3mm single-sided foam tape on the back to cover the gap between the steel back plate and the back panel. Okay, so there will be some foam tape, and I do have foam tape. I got a lot of that. Okay, so let's grab my buffer. My buffer. Where's my buffer? It's still hooked up to the AMS because you know why? I could not figure out how to get this thing out of here. I know there's a tool for doing this, but I'm going to just make up my own tool here. You know, I know there's a proper tool for getting this out of here, but I just made up my own. Ah, look at that. There we go. Okay, there's our buffer, which is going to go on here. And then this is going to go up to here. Okay, so where did I put the screws for the buffer? There they are. There's one, and found them. I found them. Okay. You know, the one thing I don't like about the buffer, and I don't understand why they did this, but you cannot, literally cannot get these 2 plugs out without taking this off because the release clip for the plugs is against the panel. So anyway, so then this is going to go in here like that. Then we're going to have our other one coming from the AMS. It's going to be going into here. This guy is going to plug into here. There we go. This plugs into the AMS. Now, the AMS will just sit flat on top of the acrylic then, so I will probably not need these pieces, which were printed as for the AMS. So these normally would have sat kind of like that. And on the other side like this to hold the AMS in place. Like that, but I won't need these. It'll just be able to sit flat on top of the acrylic. And I believe, is there rubber feet on it? There's not rubber feet, but there's feet on it. There's a tool for that also. Yeah, There's a way to do it. There's a tool, but I like my tool. Okay, that just didn't come out. But what's this piece for, David? This little guy. I'm going to try and figure it out. So we have this. We'll just tuck this away for a moment. My acrylic should be here next week. When it does come in, I'll just pop on a quick live stream putting the acrylic on. I'm just looking to see where this piece goes. It might be. I lost a piece here too. where did I lose that piece to? Did it fall? It fell somewhere. That's okay. I'll find it. Oh, it fell off somewhere. Probably when I was moving this all around. It probably fell on the floor. Right there. Yep. There it is. So that's going to go on there. I wonder if that piece, that's not for there. Top handle. Well, there's a top handle here. There's our two top handle and our door handle. Okay, I've got to move these over here. I've just got to have a seat for a minute because my back is fried. Okay, let's have a quick look and see if I can find what that little piece is for. Oh, no, that's the door handle. Okay. And the top handle, front door installation. Okay, so we have a latch for the front door, which is fine. It's ambidextrous door, so you can, it's probably a piece for the, no, it's not a piece for the spool holder. I'm just looking through to see. It looks similar to the top handle, doesn't it? But it's more stubby. See, it's like, there's the top handle and there's that little piece. It's almost like a plug to cover a hole. I'm just looking through these instructions here to see if it shows where that goes, and I don't see anything where this piece would go. Not for the spool holder. Interesting. Very interesting. Let's go to the actual parts and see if it has a name. No, it doesn't really have a name. It's just it's just all the parts, all the panels, bill of materials, manual, door hinge slotted, and it's just a whole bed of parts. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll figure it out. We'll figure out what that piece is for. But let's just have a peek. But otherwise, it's not bad. I'm going to look. There's a mod for this, which really looks cool. That I'm going to look and see. I could probably put a little bit of foam on the doors, top and bottom, for sealing the doors a little bit. I imagine I could, if I wanted to, put some foam tape around the acrylic when I put it on to get the seal on those. They do recommend some foam tape for the bottom of here. Yes, because of course you've got the little gap right in here and in here versus where you're putting it on. So they're recommending the foam tape to fill in that gap. And I hopefully bought the right size foam tape. I've got, let's see. This looks like it's about the right size foam tape. So that's fine. We got that taken care of. But yeah, that little piece, it's the mystery piece. So we'll get a serial number here once we get it all together. We'll take a picture, send it in, get our serial number. But yeah, and I just lost that piece again. Oh, it's right here. Stay. But yeah, that's very cool. So that is going to be cool. So the first, as I say, one of the first projects, wait for the foam except for the back. The rest fit very well. Oh, they do. Okay. Okay. I think, I won't foam them up right away. Yeah, and I see, because 3mm, when you think about it, how thick are these pieces that we just put on? Let's just have a quick peek here. Where would I have put my micrometer? Micrometer. Oh man. Oh. Let's get my keyboard out of the way here. Where did I use my micrometer last? Where did I put my micrometer, guys? Oh, there it is. There it is. I believe, because I got 3mm panels cut, or that's what I'm getting cut, and I believe these panels here are 4.5mm. Okay, so good. My 3mm will be fine with 1.5 millimeters clearance, which is good. These are 4.5mm thick. But the gap up here where it closes, we have a gap here of 3.3mm. Yeah, that 3mm acrylic will seal perfectly. So we have a 3.3mm gap up there where the door is going to shut, and also down here where the door is going to shut will be 3.3mm. Yep, so that'll be perfect. That should be just nice. Hey, Ricky B. Okay, well, that's awesome. I got a lot of spare little screws here, so I'm going to just take these spare screws. I just got to figure out what that one little green part, little plastic part's for, because it was printed for a reason. I won't throw it out. So I'll take these spare screws and throw them in the, I don't know, we'll throw them, what's on the other side of this one? Let's see, what do we have on the other side? Ah, there we go, empty compartment. Throw that in there, any spare parts. There we go. Put our door covers here. Okay. These are great cases for sorting your screws and stuff out. Those are awesome cases. We have some spare PTFE. Wow. Hey, Zombie Hedgehog, hello. Oh, 2 options for door handles for door and top cover. Okay, so this is probably like just a little glue-on tab then, possibly for the door. I prefer this. I mean, I don't recall in the files, if in the DFX file, if it has holes for this. I'm assuming it does have holes for this. I hope so. So otherwise, I'll end up gluing them on. Okay, well, that makes sense then, Guy the Jedi. That makes sense then, if that's the case, as to why this is here, why this little piece is there. So we'll just put those under here for now. And there we go. Just another good view of this thing. Like, there we go. There's the front. Oh, sorry, that's not the front. There's the front with, come on, straighten out. That'll work better once the doors are on. So we got the hinges over there, and we just got to screw the door in the front. So we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 screws to finish the door. And then we got a side panel here to screw on. And then we got a side panel there to screw on. And then on the back, we've got to put a little bit of foam tape along the bottom on the back here, and then screw that panel on the back. And we should be enclosed and ready to start printing our Trident parts. So now the question's going to come up. Tim, I'm going to say, yeah. And you're going to say, why are you tearing your Trident apart? Perfectly good working printer. And why are you rebuilding your Trident and tearing it apart and starting from scratch? Now, if I have to tell the truth, I kind of have to swallow a bit of pride here, because I was so proud of that build. I really enjoyed that build, and I really thought that I would end up loving, who is Zombie Hedgehog? Zombie Hedgehog, introduce yourself. I thought I'd really end up loving the mixed color scheme of that printer. Well, I don't. I find it hard to look at all the time. I mean, it's right over here. The poor thing's taken apart a little bit more because there's a couple upgrades I'm going to do to it. I was having issues with the tap. I don't know if I'm going to go back to the tap or if I'm going to put my, I've got a PCB clicky probe I may put on it. I don't know if the tap was fully ready for release. Zombie, everybody wants to know who you are. So I'm tearing it apart, and I'm also putting on this light rail, which I saw somebody on one of the social media things actually bent this, but they had a printing error and it actually bent this. But I don't plan to torture mine nearly as much. So this is going to come apart, and we're going to be printing all new parts. Two reasons. I don't really like the color, and I just recently received a load of filament from Polymaker that was sent to me of their new Sparkle ABSs and their new Sparkle and Pop Color ASAs. I want to, the zombie that lives forever or the one that doesn't sleep. Yes, exactly. I want to showcase their new Sparkle ABS ASAs / Pop ABS ASAs. So I've started one of these bags here. I've also got, and this is just sort of moving on a little bit from this, but I've also got a couple of kits that I'm going to be building right here. Oh, these are heavy. LDO went ahead and sent me a couple of Voron 2.0 upgrade kits. So we're going to be upgrading both of our 0.1 Vorons to the 0.2. We have the red one. I made a mistake and thought that my other one was space gray, and I have a space gray upgrade kit, but my other one's black, which is fine. It just means that my top hat's going to have a space gray top hat. Not a big deal. So we're going to be doing the upgrades on the Voron 0 to Voron 0.2s. And they're going to be complete rebuilds almost. So I've already started printing Voron 0.2 parts. These are all printed. I think this is all the parts that I need for it. And these are all printed in the Polymaker Sparkle. I don't want to get this wrong. Polylite ABS Galaxy Dark Gray is what I've printed these in, and this is what I'm considering doing the main color for my Trident rebuild. Either that or a couple of the pop colors. I don't know. Zombie Hedgehog, you like Polymaker, you think? I think you do. But these things, I love this color. Okay, this is Sparkle Dark Gray. It's not really dark. I wouldn't consider that dark gray, but it's a really, really nice color. These are printed on the Voron 2.4. They turned out really nice, but I love the filament, Sparkle Gray. And then now I have to decide what I want as an accent color to go with these. Who is Polymaker? You guys are playing the Who Is game. So we have all these parts, primary parts printed for the 0.2 upgrade, but I also need to print the accent parts. So I have 13, okay, not really 13. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 13 colors to choose from to mix and match for doing the 0.2s and the Trident rebuild. So that is one of the projects that's coming up. So talk about make work projects, right? So we're going to be stripping down the the Trident. 2.4 is still sitting here, and it's I've got the wrong camera on again. 2.4 is here, and it's going to stay as it is. It's running really well, so not a big deal with that. And as I say, I've been running the Galaxy Dark Gray parts on that, and that's what I'll print the parts. And actually, the Bambu is going to print the parts for the Trident. So go figure. Unless that's really taboo to print Trident or Voron parts on a Bambu Lab printer. No, it's not. So that's stuff coming up. Yeah, and hopefully it's going to be busy, and we're going to get back to the rat rig after the Maker Faire. So the rat rig we're going to probably get back to starting towards near the end of May. And I want to get the rat rig up and running midsummer at the latest. So I'm waiting for a board or something from Big Tree Tech on that. At the Maker Faire, I'm building, check out all these parts. This is all, again, Polymaker filament. We have the black, We have the, I don't think this is Polymaker, but we have some gray. And then we have a lot of gray. These bags, these are all parts that are going to build my my Mega King Kong. Is it Mega King Kong? Anyways, that's my King Kong model. And I'm thinking I'm going to just bring these parts to Maker Faire and assemble this while I'm at Maker Faire. Because we do have a lot of 3D Gloop products coming to Maker Faire. We're going to be giving away some 3D Gloop, Richard and I at our booth. And I don't think I need Gloop on this other than maybe 1 or 2 parts. So that's going to happen as well. And then we're also making a whole bunch of, I'm making a whole bunch of little fidget cubes for Maker Faire. So a lot on the go right now, but yeah. I have to fix this light back up. I don't know if I want to put this light back in the Bambu P1P or if I want to just come up with a better lighting system. This is useless. So yeah. Who is John Galt? Who would be interested in see how the ASA prints versus ABS? Yeah. I think they print the same. I think they print very, very similar. As a matter of fact, I think the printing properties or printing specs are probably exact, if not the same. Let's have a look. There's Pop Green ASA. Oh, I love the Pop Green. It looks so nice. Then we have Pop Pink. Would pink and green be too good? Would be good colors to go together. And then we have, let's say, Polylite ABS Galaxy Purple. So there's a Galaxy Purple and a Pop Green. So the ASA, where are my printing parameters on this? Is it on here? 240 to 260. Okay, and the ABS is 245 to 265. And bed temperature 75 to 95, 90 to 100. So you could probably print these at the exact same speed and temperature and you'd be fine. Zero fan. And print speed 30 to 50 millimeters per second. Well, I've been printing them a little quicker and they seem to be good. But now would the Pop Green go good with that gray? There's the Pop Green. I haven't opened the box yet to actually see what it looks like. These just and I'm not going to be able to see what it looks like without breaking the seal. So, but I guess their pop colors are really literally pop colors, that they really do pop. So ASA warps less. Interesting. But yeah, so I mean, can you imagine green and purple for your printer? Oh, can you just imagine? So anyways, we'll figure that out as we go. I got 2 rolls of the purple and 2 rolls of the black of the Galaxy Dark Gray. But the pop colors I've got are Pop Blue, Pop Green, Pop Pink. Pop Blue, Pop Green, and Pop Pink. Now, pink would go great with the black. So I may just do the Galaxy Dark Gray, which is not quite black, but gray and pink might look good. So we'll see. But I digress. I'm just spewing verbal diarrhea. I got the care package zombie. Yes, I did. 13 spools of care package. Isn't that a Joker build? That would be cool. Everything goes good with gray. It does, zombie, doesn't it? So we may do that. But that's it. That's all. I think we're going to call it. 2 hours is pretty good. We got this done really well. Now, if you're doing this without streaming, it's definitely not going to take you that long to do. But when you're talking and streaming at the same time, it just takes a little more, effort. So I'm going to, once I get the acrylic, we'll pop on and we'll do a quick live stream. I'm putting the acrylic on, and it should look good. I mean, it definitely looks like a little more not as skeletonish with these parts on so far. So I may actually put a decal over the acrylic on this side to cover the fan, possibly, because I don't really need to see in this side, and this is just kind of an eyesore. So I may put something on this side, a decal, or I don't know, maybe even do some black acrylic or smoked gray acrylic so that it's not as prevalent. And that way you can see in the front and see in this side, because that fan just kind of uglies it up a little bit. So, okay, guys, that's going to be it for tonight. Thank you so much for everybody that watched. I appreciate all the likes and all the thumbs up and all the chat. And let's see how many we got. 32 thumbs up. I'm happy with that. You guys can go, and enjoy your weeks. And we will talk to you guys later. I do not have an extra video yet because I keep getting strikes from YouTube, blah, blah, blah. So we're just going to quit with a little bit of one of my new brands here, and we will call that a stream. And we'll talk to you guys all next week. Have a great week, and thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Make sure you hit the like button. If you're not subscribed to my channel, I would appreciate a subscription, and we'll catch you guys later. Have a good night. Bye for now.